Hello. So, on Word of Inspiration for Women today, I'm going to be talking about the power of a woman. The power of a woman. I mean, that's not a new topic. A lot of us, everybody knows how powerful women are. Our strengths range across a wide variety of areas. We're multitaskers, we're providers, we're fruitful, we're multipliers, so many things, carers, so many strengths we have as women. But today and in the next couple of videos, I'm going to be talking about some specific strengths of a woman as discovered from the Bible. So the first strength I'm going to focus on this is the strength or the power of a woman to hide you, to defend you, and to protect you. So women, we can hide, we can protect, and we can defend. And the thing is, when a woman hides you or protects you or defends you, you can go to bed, peacefully, knowing that you are covered. So one of the first examples of that demonstrates a woman's ability or power to hide and defend you is seen in the story of Moses. Moses was born at a time where male children were being killed, but his mother was able to successfully hide him for 3 months, a crying, screaming baby. But she hid him for 3 months. And that was how Moses' life was preserved. And after hiding him for that amount of time, she went on to hand him over to the king's daughter to raise. It's only a woman that can achieve that. A man or baby that should have been killed, he was saved. And not only was he saved, he actually grew up in the king's house. The king, who actually said all male children of the Israelites should be killed, ended up bringing up an Israelite boy because of his mother. Now, the second example I found in scriptures about a woman who can hide, or the power of a woman to hide and defend you, is Rahab. Rahab in Joshua chapter 2 from verse 4, when the spies came into the land, Rahab, who was a harlot, took these men in, hid them in her house from the king. And the king's soldiers and all the king's men, were searching from the king of Jericho. All the king's men were searching for these spies, but they were hidden by a woman. And so they couldn't find these men. And Rahab hid these men in her house. And not only did she hide them, she showed them how they could escape, how they could leave without being caught by the king's army. And that was how the spies were preserved. And this also led to preservation of herself and her family. Rahab, a harlot. But it just shows you how powerful a woman can be. Now, the next example, which I've found about, that demonstrates the strength of a woman, is the story of Abigail. Now, Abigail, in 1 Samuel 25, from 3 onwards, she was Nabal's wife. And Nabal was a rich man. And in that time, King David, he sent his men to Nabal, to see him, and hoping that Nabal will be able to provide room for them, something like that. And the men got there, and Nabal insulted David's men. Insulted David and insulted his men and sent them back in shame. And when the men got back to David, and told David what happened, David was angry. And David said he was going to go back and finish Nabal off, So he got his men ready. There were hundreds of them. They were going to go back. And David was the guy who killed Goliath. And then this Nabal is doing that rubbish to him. So he was going back to fight. And Abigail, who was Nabal's wife, heard what had happened and how her husband had insulted David. And immediately she took gifts, took food, took bread, took a number of her servants and ran to find David and found him. And immediately she saw him, she started apologizing on behalf of her husband. She begged David not to come and do what he had intended to do. And she just stood in the gap, protected her husband. And David's anger, it was calm. I mean, David stopped being angry because Abigail interceded on behalf of her husband. And that was how her husband's life was protected. And this woman, the Bible said she had a beautiful countenance. She was a woman of understanding. She was beauty and brains. And she preserved her husband's life. So that just goes to show us how powerful, how powerful a woman is. And, we can't even forget Rebecca. Rebecca, who Isaac's wife, we know how she preferred her son Jacob to Esau, and she stood in the gap for Jacob so that Jacob received the blessing that was intended for Esau. Now this woman went, she was actually the one who tricked her husband, not even Jacob. She prepared him, she defended this her son such that the father was tricked and the son got the blessing that was meant for the brother, just because the mother was there to defend him, to protect him. And when his brother, I think there was a point where Esau was so angry and was going to retaliate and fight his brother, and she was the one that told him, okay, quickly get up and go to my brother's place. And that was how she preserved Jacob's life. Now the final example I have today is the story of Jehosheba. You can find this in 2 Kings chapter 11 verse 2 onwards. Jehosheba took in her nephew Joash at the time where Joash's grandmother decided to kill all the descendants, all the heirs to the throne, She decided to kill every one of them off because her son had died or because her son was killed. And Jehosheba took in Joash and hid him for 6 years, and no one knew that Joash was alive until the point where he was revealed and made king. Now, if not for Jehosheba, Joash would be dead. Joash would not have been king. But Jehosheba was a woman who took this boy in and hid him, protected him, and saved his life so that he became king years down the line. Now, these examples are just to show us a little of the strength that we have as women. So if you have ever looked down on yourself, if you've ever thought, what am I, or what can I do, or what, this is just one of such strengths that you have. The power to hide, the power to protect, the power to defend. And this power we have as women, it's something that is very important for us in our homes, in our families, how we protect, defend, hide, cover our husbands, our children. It is one power that should not be overlooked. So I hope this encourages someone today. Just reflect on how you as a woman can exercise this power you have. And next time we are going to discuss another power, another unique power we have, another strength we have as women. Until then, take care. Please like, subscribe, and share, and I'll see you on the next video.